106.1 Kiss FM here with my tag team partner in podcasting. He might not like you, but he loves you. Here is Jerry Valerian. That is not a rib. Good morning, Jer.
I love you for that.
Good morning.
Not a rib. Good morning. How are you doing today? Number 8, you shot out of a cannon?
I'm doing good. I love your shirts.
It's my favorite shirt. It's my new favorite shirt.
I love it. It's fantastic. Just spoke to Conrad a few hours ago.
It's funny. I completely judge people now on whether or not they can guess everything on the shirt.
Oh, I have no idea. All right, zoom in a little bit. Let me play this with you. All right.
Okay.
Oh, this is great. So I see Frankie up there.
Okay.
That'd be the big boss man.
Yep.
We've got a plunger for TL Hopper.
There you go.
Is that bananas?
No, take a look at the...
Hold on. I can't tell what that is, I guess.
It's a big hat.
Oh, for Akeem the African Dream.
There you go. You needed that. That's okay.
Let's keep going. There's polka dots. That's Dusty. All right. That looks like an ice skate boot. That's got to be the Goon.
The Goon.
The Red Rooster, Terry Taylor.
And then...
Mr. Cockadoodle-Doo. That looks like Matilda, the Bulldog.
There it is. And there you have it.
I have a picture of Matilda on my desk, by the way, hanging on my wall at my cubicle.
Oh, that's great. The other one that I really liked was their box of gimmicks. And that had these ones, and then it also had Bastion Booger. It had the Repo Man.
So is there like an answer key, or do you just know from the stories what's on the shirt?
It's if you can't tell, then you can't tell. I feel like almost all of them I knew. I forgot T.O. Hopper, and then for a minute I thought the dog was Junkyard Dog, and I was like, that can't be right. And then it was Matilda. So
yeah. No, wait. So say that again. So you eventually figured out it was Matilda, and you didn't know T.L. Hopper. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'd forgotten about T.L. Hopper.
All right, cool. Well, listen, Raw was a little bit of a back burner for me last night as I had plans earlier in the night and got home around 8:45, started Raw. I made it all the way through the last half hour. I fell asleep about a half hour, but I think the only thing they were really promoting was a women's match.
They were about halfway through. They started really promoting Enzo's Cruiserweight Championship celebration.
Okay, then I missed that.
That was the end of the show.
Okay, so the women went before Enzo.
The women went before, and it ended up being a really good. It was a really good way to end the show. Although I still would have. I don't know. I still feel like, for the third week in a row, they ended Raw with the wrong segment.
Okay, so you said, now which was it? Is it a strong segment or the wrong segment?
I think it was a super strong segment, and I guess it was the right segment after watching it. But I think ending Raw on the image of the Miz Taraj doing the Shield fist bumps, standing over a beaten and bloodied Roman Reigns would have been a good way to end Raw. But I do like how they ended with Enzo. That was really interesting what happened last night.
With Enzo?
Yeah.
Okay, then fill me in, because I don't know. And if you want to do it in your own Jerry Valeri kind of way.
Well, I kind of can and I kind of can't, because there wasn't too much action. So Enzo has this celebration for himself. And even Kurt Angle, did you catch the part where Kurt Angle was like, this is your first championship. Can I give you some advice from a former champion and Olympic gold medalist? And Enzo looks at him and goes, no, I'm all right. And then walks away.
I must have missed that.
So Enzo's being super cocky and overconfident about winning this championship by kicking Neville in the nuggets. And
I did see him on Raw Talk, at least, though, where he was being overly cocky, even in his Enzo way.
Well, here's what they did, dude. He brings out the entire roster, and they're all standing on the ramp, the entire roster of the Cruiserweight division. And it's everyone except for Neville. And he starts talking about himself and how great he is and how he's making it relevant. He's making 205 Live relevant. And then he unveils this. He's got his Zero Dimes jersey framed. He's going, we're going to tie this jersey. We're going to hang it in the rafters. and he's doing his Enzo thing. You know, my name is Enzo. You can't teach that. And he's just being so cocky, and he's disparaging the guy at the top of the ramp. And it dawns on me, they're turning him heel right in front of us. They're turning him heel. And he's going on, and then the next thing you know, Neville comes out. And Neville's all greasy and jacked, and Enzo's just like, oh, I see you showed up to the party, fashionably late. And he's making fun of Neville for being ugly and being terrible. And Neville starts defending the cruiserweights behind him, saying that nobody wanted you. Nobody would have you. You're like a dog that somebody left on the doorstep because nobody would have you. But he's saying it in an accent you can barely understand. And he was like, and they wanted to give you an opportunity, and you're going to disparage them. And I was like, holy smokes, they're turning Neville face. They're like doing a total switcheroo. And Neville's charging. He's like, and I'm going to take care of you right now. And he runs into the ring, and Enzo backs him off with a piece of paper. And he's like, you know what this is? You can't touch me. You can't touch me. Kurt Angle signed this. If you touch me, you lose your championship rematch. You can't touch me. He was like, and by the way, why don't you all take a look at what time it is? We're in the 10 o'clock hour of Raw. You had the championship for 9 weeks, and you never sniffed the main event. Look where I put you. I made you all relevant. He's turning into the cruiserweight honky-tonk man and right in front of us. And he's got this piece of paper that says that Neville can't touch him or he doesn't get a rematch. And what does Neville do? Beats the living Jesus out of him. Beats the piss out of Enzo, throws him out of the ring, throws him into the stairs. He's doing the red arrow, bow, boom. And the whole time the announcers this is how you know it's a heel thing, that Enzo's now the heel. They're like, and Neville could only take so much. Neville couldn't take it. He just threw away his opportunity. And they're totally burying Enzo, and they're totally making Neville look like a face. And they switched roles. And I think Enzo's going to be an incredible heel for 205 Live.
What you call the old switcheroo is referred to in the back as the double turn.
It worked. And it worked because the crowd got behind it, and the crowd was booing Enzo.
This sounds amazing. And you know what? I'm glad that I waited because I get the Valeria experience, which it is a thing of beauty when you go into explaining segments because you do a really good job. But then it's like, if I was dozing off, which like I was during that third hour of Raw, which is just so long, I wouldn't have appreciated it with all the beauty. Now I'll watch it fresh when I get home from work today, and I'll be ready for it with what sounds like that's what you described. Sounds like a great segment.
And it was the best promo Enzo's cut, period.
Should I right now the show is called Roman Reigns on Miz TV. Should I change it to Enzo and Neville?
You could, and it wouldn't hurt anything. And it wouldn't hurt anything at all. Here's the truth of all of it. Like, you fell asleep by the end of Raw.
It was also close to midnight in Evansville.
Well, and by the time I got to the end of Raw, it was about 11:30, and I fell asleep before the Enzo thing as well. I did, and when I realized we both missed it, I went this morning, and I can access my DVR remotely.
I'm so jealous.
So I accessed it. And I spent a little bit of my show this morning not doing my show, and I just watched. I tuned that one in, and I wanted to make sure I had it, and I watched it, and I was like, when I woke up this morning, I thought Raw blew it again. Should have put Miz beating Roman Reigns with chairs at the end, but I don't necessarily believe that now because this was an okay main event. This was a pretty impactful segment.
No, that sounds good to me. The show did start off with a bang too. Thank you by the way, for bringing me up to speed with that. Show started off with a bang. I thought the Miz TV stuff was fine. You know, didn't light the world on fire, but it was Miz TV with Roman Reigns, and it led to some angles. So I'll start with a question. Actually, two questions. Is Miz next for Reigns? Is my first question, or is that just a one-off last night thing?
I think that Miz is next for Reigns. I thought that Miz TV was used to get Roman Reigns a match with, as Roman Reigns put it, Brock Lesnar.
Wait, say that again?
Didn't you hear him when he was like, I got my eyes on Brock Lesnar? And I was like, you flubbed Brock Lesnar.
Dude,
you suck so bad.
I bet you he runs into the same thing that I run into. You may have heard me do this several times in the history of the show, especially when they've been feuding. But when my brain wants to say Braun Strowman, it sometimes says Brock Lesnar and vice versa. And I don't know why that is.
Right.
So I'm not going to indict him too bad on this, or I'm not going to, give him too much crap for that, because my brain does that too. But at least I'm not in the show. You should probably get that part down.
I think we're not going to see Brock Lesnar till Survivor Series. And so I think that starting him and Lesnar now is something that they just can't do yet. So they do a little foreshadowing there, and now they're going to distract Roman Reigns with the Intercontinental Championship and the Intercontinental Champion. And I love the whole, like, if they were going to reunite the Shield for any reason whatsoever, I kind of like this. But the Shield versus the Miztourage is kind of laughable. But they showed their teeth last night. I thought that was good.
So, man, I guess that may have been when I was falling asleep. So the Shield reunited last night.
No, it did not.
That's okay. That's what I thought then. Because I remember, here's what I remember. It was Miztourage versus Matt Hardy and Jason Jordan.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Okay, then
But then later in the night, did you see what happened with Roman Reigns and The Miz?
That must have been when I was going then, because I don't remember what you're talking about.
Okay, well, here's how this goes. So Roman Reigns, how do they get him out there? Oh, yeah, Roman Reigns and The Miz have a match, and they have a match, and Roman Reigns wins. It's a non-title match, and The Miz is hurt or whatever, and then all of a sudden, boom! Here comes Kurt Hawkins, and bang! Here comes Curtis Axel. Boom! Curtis Axel. I get him mixed up. Curtis Axel, and then you've got Bo Dallas, and now all three of them are on Roman Reigns, and they're beating him, and they're beating him, and they're punching him, and they're smashing him, and they're crushing him, and then Roman Reigns turns into Roman Reigns, and he starts taking them out again, and he grabs The Miz, and he's gonna like powerbomb him, and bang! Stiff chair shot to the back. And then Bo Dallas has a chair. Boom! And then Curtis Axel. Boom! And now we're having chair shot time. Bang! 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 And then they stand him up, and boom! And bang! And then they lift him, and they give him to The Miz, and he gets him for the skull-crushing finale. And they celebrate, and The Miz's music hits. They get out of the ring, and they walk up the ramp. And then Miz turns around and looks at a Roman Reigns who's beaten and battered and barely getting up. And they go back into the ring. And The Miz grabs a chair again and hits him again. And bang, smashes him again. And then they set it down by his face. And then they pick him up. And then skull-crushing finale onto a chair. Onto a chair. And then...
How are you not part of the WWE?
Then The Miz stands over Roman Reigns like this. Roman Reigns' defeated body is between his legs, face down. Bo Dallas on this side, Curtis Axel on this side, and Miz does this. And then they do this, and this, and you've got the Shield. They're doing the Shield fist bump thing over a battered and beaten Roman Reigns. And I was like, oh, that's how you end a show. But it was only 10:08. What the hell?
So there was no Shield reunion.
No, but the Miztourage
made
fun of the Shield. They did their own Shield reunion. It was a Miztourage Shield thing.
I wonder if this is going. Yeah, I wonder if this is going to get us there. The only thing is, and I guarantee this is why we haven't had it yet, it just feels like if there was going to be a Shield reunion that really took off, that would be a big step backwards for Reigns, which I would love because I hate him. I hate the spot that he's in. I resent his level of talent for the spot that they've got pegged for him. I hate that it's not happening naturally, but they just refuse to change course on it. I'm so uncomfortable with this whole thing. Yeah, and then going back to the Shield would just do a whole lot of people a whole lot of good, but they won't do it. Not long term, at least.
They made The Miz look like $1 million last night.
Miz is $1 million. That's why it looks like that. So, or just like maybe make Roman, make him a heel. Like there's just so many better ways than forcing something that doesn't seem to be working.
I feel like you're going to enjoy Raw today. I think you missed more than you think you did.
It's definitely possible, dude. I was out. Like I didn't start till super late, and they keep me for 3 hours, and I was worn out. We went bowling with Brittany's family.
Bowling is so fun. How did you do?
I'll talk about the first game. I got a 105.
Are you like me? I always start out bad and then I get better.
No, I start out passable and then I get worse. My second game was an 82. That's just the way I do.
Yeah.
Okay, then that was my first question, which you answered in great detail, and again, great Valeri fashion. You're too good to me. The second question I have is Braun Strowman. See, I almost wanted to say Brock Lesnar. Is Braun Strowman now about to be in a program with Dean Ambrose, or is that a one-off?
That's a one-off. That looked like a one-off.
Really? Okay, then that just seems too random to me to be a one-off.
Well, I liked how random it was. Because it worked for both characters. Braun Strowman comes out and just destroys Kurt Hawkins, which is so fun to watch him go through.
I remember that.
We're going to destroy the ramp today. Bang. And that's great. And Kurt Hawkins is like a lovable loser that takes off running. I thought that was great. And then Braun Strowman heads to the ring, and he's not leaving until somebody fights him. And Dean Ambrose is like, who's dumb enough? I literally thought, who's dumb enough to do this? And who are they going to book to make me actually believe that they would come out on their own and do this? And then Dean Ambrose's music plays, and I go, okay.
Sure, yeah. No, that's a good
works,
choice.
And it makes sense. And he comes out, and he just does it. And if anything, it just kind of moves him and Seth forward a little bit, because they did a vignette later. They did a skit where Seth is like, dude, I have a match with Sheamus, and I kind of need your help. Next time you're going to go trying to pick a fight with someone like Braun Strowman, could you let me know about that? Could you let me know in advance?
I saw that part.
And I like how Dean Ambrose was like, yeah, that was pretty stupid. That was pretty stupid. So I don't think he's doing anything with Braun Strowman right now. I just think they're putting Braun Strowman over again after he lost to only one F5 cleanly at No Mercy. I think they're just keeping him strong.
First of all, I feel like they made such a mistake not giving Braun the title this weekend, but okay, we're past that. Where do we go with Braun from here?
I don't know. I want to say Samoa Joe, but that
makes sense.
But then who do you book? Who do you book to win? Because they both could use a win.
Yeah, and we don't have Joe back yet, but no, that makes sense. And then does Reigns go to Brock?
Well, no, eventually, but Reigns is going to be dealing with Miz for a little bit.
So clearly. TLC, you think Reigns has Miz?
Guaranteed. So, you know what? Especially if it's TLC, is that their pay-per-view?
Yeah. End of October, I think. They're
definitely going to have a chair match. Mark it down. I'm locking in. After what I saw last night, they're going to have a chair match.
You know what? You're onto something. You're good at stuff like that. You're picking up on stuff like that. So then you think that we've got Reigns and Miz, and then do you think we've got Strowman and Joe?
Maybe. I don't know what their plan is with Joe. They got to get him back in. I don't know where else they put Joe right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Anything else from the show really worth talking about? So I thought Alexa Bliss and Mickie James did a pretty good job of, getting me to care about one match.
Do you know what I liked about Mickie James? Is that she's different than the regular group that they're always fighting over the belt.
Yeah, it was kind of refreshing to see her cutting a promo in the land of where you get your 4 or 5 every week. You're right. It was a little refreshing. I agree. And they did a good job, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I thought the show was good. You know what I found refreshing? What I liked,
What's that?
and I don't think they're going to do it much. They won't continue it. But I like when they give Goldust some teeth. I like when they actually make Goldust part of the show. Like, I liked that, him going after Finn. But then I feel like it's just, I don't know. Are they going to, there's one of two things that I thought could happen after what last night. Either they're going to continue Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor.
Yes.
Or Goldust is now going to join Bray Wyatt.
Probably not. I'm going to go with the former. Because
Goldust vanished.
Well, here's what I remember happening. Finn Balor fought Goldust.
Yes.
Which I was a little confused. What did Finn Balor say about Goldust to make that happen?
Goldust didn't like. He was kind of defending Goldust and saying that Bray Wyatt had victimized him or whatever. He was a victim of Bray Wyatt in a promo. Big Goldust was, and Goldust took umbrage with that. Said, "I'm not a victim. I'm a man. I can stand up for myself."
Okay, so I saw Goldust took exception to something that Finn said, which now I know what it is, and they had a match. And then the way I recall it, I don't remember if Finn won officially or not, but at the end of the match, the lights went out and the Bray Wyatt little video ran for a second, and then they just went to break. It didn't even come back from the lights going out.
See, I thought it came back and then Goldust was gone.
Boy, take your word for it, because I was obviously in a weird place last night.
Bowling took it out of you.
No, I remember, I thought, because I wanted to see what happened when the lights came on, and the way I remember it was that they went right to break.
You might be right. Because I was half watching at that point. Because when Goldust because I like seeing Goldust in angles, but when he's wrestling, I'm like, time to empty the dishwasher. Yeah, no, I understand that. So it just felt like, just kind of a wink and a nod to the audience that, hey, this isn't over, you know, which didn't make a lot of sense because, like, when the lights go out and the Bray Wyatt stuff happens, why would you go right to a break? But that's what I remember them doing. And plus, like, it sure feels like it's over when at SummerSlam the Demon beat Bray Wyatt, and then at No Mercy Finn Balor beat Bray Wyatt, and they were both clean. Yeah, which it sure feels done to me. Boy, everything was booked wrong on Sunday. Man, it's just like it's frustrating. Yeah. What else is worth talking about? Anything else from Raw do we need to note? I don't think so. Yeah, we think we got it. I didn't love the show, but again, I was really, really tired. I didn't love the show either, but I did enjoy it, and two of the things I enjoyed the most you missed. So I think that you may like it if you go back and watch it today. Yeah, I'll fill myself in on the end of the Reigns match, and I'll catch up on the Enzo stuff I haven't seen anything of yet. So that sounds like what's going to be my favorite part of the show personally. Be honest with me too, because I want you to tell me if you think that was Enzo's best promo, because I thought it was. I think he obviously can get the kids fired up, and he's like a face in that regard, but I think he's a natural heel. Clearly, he's like, somebody talked to him in the back. I was like, everybody in the back hates you because you're cocky. Bring it out there. You'll see heat. Yeah, I mean, you want to see heat. It sounds like the natural thing for him, and it sounds like a really successful double turn. I'm excited to watch it. Well, man, I felt like this was more of like a fill-in where, like, I almost was just worthless when you were carried the whole thing this time. So I appreciate the effort there. It's excellent. You went bowling. You got to go do things like that. No, I mean, but it's just like I still got an 82 and a 105. Good night. I'm wrapping things now. Thanks for a spare. I started with 2 strikes in my 105 game. Yeah. That'll get you. That'll get you over about 100 mark. Yeah. See, leave me alone. I took bowling as an actual class at Penn State. I took bowling lessons when I was in 3rd grade. I had to play sports. High the whole time. You what? I was high the whole time. That's what I think you said for most of your classes at Penn State. Anyway, we've got one more. I'm not high right now. We've got one more episode that we'll get to tomorrow this week. We'll recap tonight's SmackDown tomorrow. That is not a rib.